Hello everybody, welcome back to the N2S channel, and tonight we are doing a quick continuation of last night's video. So in last night's video we talked about the financials and whatnot of this stock. This is IDEX stock and the company itself is Ideanomics, so this is Ideanomics stock as well. But yeah, we talked about the financials and how the company is doing right now, but I just want to take a quick minute to have a look into the future. So if that does sound like a good video, please do like and subscribe. We are trying to get to 1,000 as soon as possible. We are on 868, so if we could get to 1,000 as soon as possible, it would be appreciated. Feel free to share this with your friends and family and whatnot, just help get us to that 1,000 milestone. Again, if you want to watch that video from yesterday on IDEX, that's a more relevant to now perspective, but of course this one's looking into the future. So yeah, of course feel free to come and join us on our Discord as well, link is in the description. Well, yeah, in last night's episode, we did conclude that on CNN we had one analyst which is looking at this stock, and they have a buy rating, which is basically saying that they wish that people would buy the stock because it's probably going to do well. So how well do they expect it to do? 77% better than it is going to do right now, because they expect it to hit a level of $5 potentially in the next 12 months. Now I'm going to be talking about my perspective on that, going on what we have seen and going on what I think we're going to see in the future. So this is of course a more long-term perspective. I did give a quick short-term perspective on the stock in last night's video as well, but for the long term I definitely have a different view. So what do I think to this company in the long term? Do I think this is a stock buy or anything like that? Now, first thing, of course, I am not a financial advisor, but I definitely think this stock is a buy for the long term. And this is simply due to what the company does. Now, we could go on about this for ages, but just to simplify it, of course, we did cover it in more detail in last night's video, but just to simplify it, this company basically specializes in bulk delivery vehicles for mainly electric products. So, of course, it's like commercial vehicles and also things that go with them. So we have things like batteries and also electric charging stations for those electric vehicles. I think this is a very, well emerging market space into the future. I don't really think it is there yet because of the reasons which I talked about in that video. Just to recap on the fundamental reasoning, I think at the minute, and please don't criticize me for this one because I know there are some great electric solutions out there, but I just think at the minute, if we look at some of the examples on the streets which we are seeing, depending on what country you're from as well, but mainly when we talk about commercial vehicles, we're thinking of things like potentially trains and buses and, trucks and things like that, vans and whatnot, and these vehicles are mainly, if not all, diesel, and that's just because, diesel at the minute is the option. It's cheap to buy, it's extremely cheap to run, but going into the future, electric is going to be a cheaper option. Of course, we are seeing players emerge into these markets for commercial vehicles. We saw Workhorse with the vans, we saw Helion with the trucks, but at the minute they are not, huge market players. But looking into the future, this is why I definitely think it's a buy, because we don't have this market share there yet, and because we know that this is going to be a mandatory, thing which is going to come into place in many countries across the world. I think this market is bound to expand, because like I said, the 2030 agreement for Paris bans all petrol and diesel sales, and that will mean that people will have to switch to electric solutions, if not something else. So obviously, electric is probably going to be the option. And I think when other truck manufacturers such as Tesla release their truck and whatnot, a lot more people will be, happier to buy electric solutions than petrol and diesel ones. I think a lot of more technology is going to come out in the next few years, which will make these kind of vehicles more viable to companies to buy. So for that reason, I definitely see this as a long-term buy. I think if we were going to buy this one, we would be looking to hold it for 5 to 7 years, in my opinion, perhaps even longer. But over that period, I definitely think we could see big gains. I definitely don't think the stock is hyped up yet at all, but we have seen a bit of a gain in the price recently, so I still think it is definitely a bargain for the very long-term perspective. Obviously, for the short term, it's very hard to say, but I did try and talk about that one in the last episode. But yeah, I thought I'd just give you my long-term perspective in this one. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do smash that like button and subscribe. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for your time. Goodbye.